a bit of a miserable grey day. It's about 10:15 and there's 1.5 hours left until the tide's right out, and I've come down to see what the tide's left out. So let's not waste any more time, let's go and see what there is to find. Okay, I think I've seen a pipe. Well, no surprise there, but I think it's a different kind of pipe to what I usually find. I can see some stem there, look. Now this is possibly going to be a pipe that people used to keep a little longer and then have a replaceable stem coming out of there, and I can see the bowl here. I'm thinking that's what it is. Anyway, let's put it out and see. Yes! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh, I am so excited. Let's wash this off. I can see a little face, look, and a hat. Oh my goodness. Oh gosh, let's wash this. Let's wash this off. Get my trowel. Oh, this is a real blessing. I was supposed to go mudlarking with Simon today and my car wouldn't start. So I dashed down to Greenwich and oh my goodness, look at this. It's a beautiful face. Well, you know, beautiful in the sense that it's a soldier with a hat on. Oh, that's just beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. Look at it. Now it will probably fade a little, hopefully. And it's looking great. Oh my gosh. Oh, I can hear a little splashing over there, which means that my friends are coming. Where are they? There they are. Coming over to see what the excitement's about. Now just down here there is a little lead, looks like a little token, a square one. And first of all I thought that was an anchor on it, but I think it's a number 4. Now just down here is some more lead with some lettering on. Obviously something that used to wrap cables as well, I think, but I just do love that lettering. I shall unfurl it later. I think I just found part of an old gas lamp here. Look at this. That's nice, isn't it? Oh, I clean that up. It's lovely. Let's go and give it a clean. Just seen something really nice down here, wedged between this piece of wood and a rock, and it's like a brooch, sort of missing some stones, but still, I'll give that a clean up. Probably Victorian, I should think. Now just down here I can see a little buckle. It's just here and it's got quite a nice little design. Look at that. It's pretty, isn't it? Now what's this? Prats. Wonder what that comes from. Now, I just saw a couple of bits over here. My eye was first drawn to a little red bead, which you can see just there. Then after that, I saw something else, so I don't know if you can see it now. Right, there's the bead, let's put that there. It's this, look, it's a tiny weeny spoon. Look at that, isn't it cute? It's like a salt spoon or something. Oh gosh, that's so adorable. Tiny weeny little spoon. Now, just down here I can see a pipe bowl. It's just here. Now we're in an area that's really like a bit of a dump. It's got things like oyster shells, like here, and loads of bones as well. Absolutely loads of bones. You can see one poking out here. So people would have dumped their sort of rubbish after dinner. So this one here is a nice 1700s pipe bowl. There's also a stem there. The stem's broken. And here's the bowl. '18th century pipe bowl. Now down here in this area there are a lot of these little, well, they look like ends of bullets, and they're all split. I'm not sure why. I've just seen something down here amongst the rocks and it looks like gold. It really does. It really looks like gold. Can you see it? It's very tiny. Very, very tiny. But here, look. And it's got a tiny stone in it. Isn't that gorgeous? Must have come off of a bracelet or something. It's teeny. Look at that. How lovely. Ah, now here's something I wasn't wanting to find. It's a tiny fish. I don't think there's any life left in this little chap. just down here there is a little tiny, weeny glass button. There it is. I've just found another little jewel down here. I caught a glimpse of something pink as I was moving a rock, and it looks like a little crusted up sort of something that's come off of a pendant. Pretty, isn't it? Maybe an earring? Pink to make the boys wink. Just seeing something down here, and I think it might be another buckle. Let's have a look. Oh yeah. Yeah, it is. It's another buckle, I think. There is a little key, like a key that would have been used to wind a clock, I think. So I've just made a pipe discovery. I wonder if you can spot it. Yep, there it is. Let's take a closer look. See how much of it is there. And I hope there's a maker's mark, but I don't think there is one on the stem. But that's a lovely pipe dating to about 1840. So can't complain about that. I wonder who last touched that. Almost 200 years ago, possibly. Now this is interesting. Perfect. Little piece of coral by the looks of it. Now just here there is a beautiful piece of red glass that I'll be able to use to make a nice glass fish. Right, well I'm off home now, the tide's on the way in. I found a few little pieces that are worth washing off and having a closer look at, so I'll see you back in the studio. I've had to walk home today because my car is broken for some reason. I was supposed to meet up with Simon, but I couldn't. So walking home along a way that I don't usually walk, I just picked up this and it looks like, oops, somebody's lines. It's very, very wet. I'm going to take it home and dry it out and have a look. Hi everyone, thank you very much for watching. I've been away for a little while and I'm back now in London. Very, very happy to re-find the Thames, re-find my clay pipes. And talking of clay pipes, I have my objects here which featured on today's video, and I'm going to start with my favourite item out of all my finds, which is this absolutely exquisite pipe bowl here. It's really extraordinary when you think that it's been in the mud for well over probably 150 years and it's in such great condition. I mean, the detail on it is stunning. When I found it, it was really black, and now it's faded and you can see all the details, and you can also see where there's been some enamel on the pipe, and even the eyeballs I believe were made with enamel. It's really quite stunning, and it's got a little sort of regimental cap badge there. It's clearly a soldier. And it would have been a pipe that wasn't particularly disposable like most of the pipes that I find, but a little bit more special. Would have had a replaceable stem in there. So perhaps this one was just lost, or it got blocked, or the person just got fed up with it. But it has a maker's mark on it, LF, and it was made by Louis Fiolet. Now, Louis Fiolet, I've looked up some information about him. I do have another one of his pipes that I'll show you later. He was one of the most distinguished pipe makers in France. Fiolet was based in Saint-Omer, and they made pipes between 1765 and 1921. There were two Louis Fiolets actually. There was the grandfather, Louis-Alexandre Fiolet, and then the grandson, Louis-Maximilien Fiolet. And Louis-Maximilien Fiolet took over from his grandfather the business in 1834. They were particularly known for their imaginative, colourful and beautifully executed clay pipes. And it's interesting because the pipe does have, like I said, evidence of where it had enamel on it, and you'll see from the other pipe that I've got also some colour. He also did risque pipes as well. He had a huge variety of designs. So in 1851, the Fiolet Pipe Company actually exhibited at the Great Exhibition at Crystal Palace, and they were described in the catalogue as Fiolet manufactures over 200,000 gross of pipes per annum in 1,200 shapes and styles. And then by 1852 he had premises in London, so he was very, very popular, and he was described as a French fancy pipe manufacturer, an importer of tobacconists and fancy goods. So this is one of Louis Fiolet's 1,200, maybe more, designs, and I absolutely love it, and it really is absolutely perfect, and it's been preserved perfectly in the mud like that. The detail is as sharp as ever, such amazing craftsmanship. And it gives me a perfect opportunity to share with you again, some of you will have already seen this clay pipe bowl, one of my favourite pipes, which is another Fiolet pipe. And like I said, he used to do risque ones on occasions, and this is one such risque clay pipe, because it is in fact a lady sitting on a commode. I'll get a little closer there. You can see her head is missing, unfortunately. She's sitting on the commode, hitching up her skirt. You can see where she's got her boots on, her bust there. And there she is, in the midst of going to the toilette. So this would have been one of the more risque designs. And again, it would have had a replaceable stem, so you can just imagine whipping that out after dinner at a dinner party and impressing all of the guests, or at least the men anyway. So I've now got these two Fiolet pipes, 19th century, probably mid-19th century. So rather thrilled with those. Such a lot of work, so imaginative, and as usual, little works of art. I've actually had a real bit of luck with pipe bowls recently, and so there will be a few of those coming up, a few of those in the pipeline, some spectacular clay pipes. Just when you think you can't get any better, you find another one which is even more extraordinary than the one before. So that's that clay pipe. So moving on, let's talk about Pratt's. Pratt's oil. So here we have this petrol cap from a Pratt's petrol can. I did look a little bit up about Pratt's, and so yes, that would date probably to around about World War II. And I've got some nice posters actually which I found of Pratt's. In 1896, Anglo-American Oil began marketing Pratt's Motor Spirit, which was actually Pratt's was started by Charles Pratt in Brooklyn in New York. And then in 1935, Anglo-American Oil replaced the brand name Pratt's by Esso. So that's a little bit of a potted history about Pratt's. So quite a nice little petrol cap there. Then we've got this little sprinkling here of jewels and gems and beads and belts and buckles, that kind of thing. All these tiny objects that have been sitting there in the mud waiting to be found, including this teeniest tiny little gem set in some gold there. It's interesting how they're all pink. There's also this, which probably came off of an earring, I should think. And this lovely brooch here, and it still has some of the tiny little paste stones in there, and they're also pink. So a nice little collection of sort of costume jewellery, probably Victorian, Georgian, a little button, a pretty little buckle here, and a bead. But this is the tiniest little thing. It's always very special to recuperate such tiny, weeny little minuscule objects from the mud. You can't help imagining who wore these little items at some point. We know which lady was walking around sporting this beautiful brooch. Moving on to these little bullet fragments here. It's curious, but there's a particular place on the foreshore where I find these, and they all seem to be split like this, as if they've hit something at high speed and then split. I'm not quite sure why they're all there together and how it happened, but if you have any ideas, please let me know. Moving on to this little lump of what I think is coral. It's very pretty. It was of course brought over and used as ballast in times gone by. So quite a pretty little piece of coral, certainly not native to the Thames anyway. There's this lovely little silver spoon, probably a salt spoon. Very, very dainty, very sweet, and I think it's silver. There is a hallmark on the back. What else have I got here? Oh yes, okay, so my part of a gas lamp, which is here, a paraffin lamp. On it, it says, "Will not burn without cone chimney." Will not burn without cone chimney. Got a little tiny key to wind up a clock, I think. And this little tiny lead token. Or maybe a little gaming piece from sort of 19th century, I expect. And then we have the little piece of lead which was used to wrap around wires, and essentially you could think quite a boring object, but I really like them because they often have a name on them with the company on, and that one did. It's got H.W. Smith and Co. Limited, and they were established in 1906. And they were particularly busy in 1917 because during World War I there was a lot of work for cable makers. Cables were needed for field telephones, and some 15,000 miles of it were made during World War I, so they were really very, very busy at that point. And in fact, with the end of the war, there was a slump in business. And this company, H.W. Smith, they didn't last too much longer after the end of World War I. Their company was absorbed into another cable company. So there you go, a simple, boring looking piece of lead, and even that has a story of its own. Now what else have I got here? Am I going to forget anything? Hopefully not. Oh yeah, of course, we have the lines here, which now has dried out. It did make me chuckle. I did get lines once when I was at school. I can't remember what it was I was doing, but I was messing around in class and I was given some lines. And I didn't realise that people still did lines, actually. It seems a little bit old-fashioned, but this one is, "I will behave on a school trip and do as I'm told. I will behave on a school trip and do as I am told." Lots and lots of lines, and then at one point, one line here where she's made, or he made a slight mistake, and it says, "I will behave and do as I'm told," in brackets, "on a school trip." So there we have it, some lines. I wonder if it made it to the teacher. Not sure how they ended up on the pavement. So I think that's it. There's been some amazing tides this week, very, very low tides, and also helped by the fact that there was a storm earlier in the week, Storm Kiara, and so there were all sorts of amazing things coming out of the river because the tide was a lot lower than was expected. So there are some good finds on the way in upcoming videos. So I'm looking forward to sharing those finds with you. And that, I think, is it. So on that note, I'd like to say thank you very much indeed for watching and for all your comments and feedback and suggestions and for the emails which you've sent me. And I'd like to wish you all a good week ahead. Take care and I'll see you again soon. Thank you.